Hi, my name is Zubin and welcome to HR Speak. Today we have with us Mr. Sandip Neogi. He is the ex-CFO of Nissan in India. We wanted to bring a different perspective and therefore we have with us Sandip, and he's going to share a lot of things with us about his career and about his experiences. So let us welcome Mr. Sandip Neogi. Welcome to our show.
Thanks, Zubin, for giving this opportunity, and I really appreciate that this sort of things are happening, and we get a chance of sharing whatever we have learned over the last several years. And if it really helps the HR community as a whole, that's fantastic. So thanks for giving me the opportunity.
So we are very happy that you agreed to be part of this, of our show. I would like to start with a very simple question about knowing a little bit more about you. The audience would love to know you both personally and professionally.
Sure. So actually this program, one of my school friends, Abhijit Bose, who happens to be one of the acting members in this forum, I asked me to kind of give this kind of a sharing of my experience, and I said yes. To start with, I was in a school which is, my father was in civil service, and he was in West Bengal civil service, and I had 4 schools. I actually grown up in a place called Shuri, which is 30 kilometers from Shantiniketan, and we went to a school which is called Birbhum Jilla School, and it was absolutely a government school, and there was literally no fees, and there were a lot of good teachers who kind of taught us the real kind of crux of the subject matter. And if you go by the data, the government school always performed well in our state, especially.
Yes.
So, and then thereafter, when I was in class 7, I came to a place called Hubli, which is closer to Calcutta, 90 kilometers from Calcutta. There also, I was into a government school called Hubli Branch Government School. And then I went to Goenka College. By the time my father had a final transfer to Calcutta, and we settled down in Calcutta. And I went to Goenka College, and that was a heterogeneous college. It's unlike this St. Xavier's College, where you are having a cream of people, cream of students, and probably it's not that much heterogeneous. Whereas in Goenka, it was a combination of different part of the society, different part. So it's a miniature Calcutta that came to me for the first time. And I started learning because I was into a vernacular medium school, and then I started learning how to talk in English, how to kind of respond to many of the things which I never knew earlier. So that's how it is. Then I went to a place called Pricewaterhouse. At that time, Pricewaterhouse was there was no kind of, it was the head office of PwC in Calcutta. So we had fantastic partners. We had a lot of importance attached to this office, and we had got great clientele. So I started in Pricewaterhouse, and then did my articleship there. 4 years, I qualified, 3.5 years. And then I went to a place called Tata Corf Engineering, which was again the guy, I was used to go there as a internal audit person from PwC. And then they called me when I kind of qualified, and then the first job was that. After that, I spent almost 8 years starting with internal audit, and then went on. I got 6 promotions in 8 years, which was very aggressive at that point of time. Ultimately, I ended up being the strategic partner to the CEO, which is called the executive assistant to the CEO. Then there was a largest recession in the steel industry which was going on at that time. Generally, the steel industry goes in a 4-year cycle. This was running for 8 years, and we were not getting any project, and Tata Steel were very independent in allowing us to grow. So when we were not doing well, Tata Steel could have helped us, but they didn't help us because that was the strategy that every company has to be independent and self-sufficient. That gave us a lot of opportunities and understanding of kind of working in a place where your parents are extremely rich, but your parents want you to be independent. So that is the freedom. And also, what do you call it? Like you call it freedom, you call it opportunity, you call it not the parent type attitude, whatever. But it helped all of us because we started grow and we started kind of understanding how to work in an environment which is not so friendly. After that, I got a chance of going to a software company which was the first multinational existence in Calcutta. It's called CA-TCG Software.
Okay.
Computer Associates and TCG. And these are the two groups. TCG is an investor mainly, and we were there for 4 years. It was an interesting kind of journey for me because I was almost doing everything there. It's a small setup. Almost 400 people. It had only the kind of internal thing, meaning that there was no outside client. Computer Associates requirement was sent to us, and we used to develop programs and send it back to them. So our billing was almost entirely kind of indigenous kind of thing. So we knew we learned some of the interesting things related to software industry, and most importantly, for the first time I got exposed to a gap called US gap, which is totally different from the Indian gap that was followed at that time. And that helped me a lot. Like I liked that subject matter a lot. Although my requirement of knowing US gap was very little, but because of the subject was so interesting, I started learning on my own. And that helped me a lot when I got a chance of becoming the corporate controller of Dr. Reddy's. So after that, I went to Dr. Reddy's, worked there for 8 years as corporate controller and a segment CFO of Dr. Reddy's. That was the best part of my life, probably, where my learning was at the peak. And then this company was one company where if you work for 1 year, you get a experience of 2 years. It's a fantastic kind of opportunity that they provide to the people. After Dr. Reddy's, I had got a chance of becoming the CFO of Hospira. Hospira is the largest injectable company in the whole world. And they had a greenfield project in India, and they started their business by acquiring a company in India. And then subsequently they acquired another 2 factories of the same company. So very much into acquisition and mergers. Then greenfield project, $1 billion greenfield project without any scam, which is according to me the best achievement in my life. Because when you work in a multinational American company, they are very much scared about the orange color of India. You know? In the space of bribery and corruption index, India is not in a very right position. Being an Indian, you don't feel good about it, but you have to accept it as a data point. So it's a challenge that one should be keeping up to their expectation and make it very, very simple, so that the things are absolutely transparent, crystal clear, and there is no chance of any fraud or misconduct. So that was what was the biggest thing, and thankfully because of this Vizag project, which was a greenfield project, Hospira got a chance of selling himself to Pfizer for 17 billion US dollar, and I believe that this value was created by myself and my team, because we had done a good job of making a facility which is the largest in the world in terms of aseptic. If you know the injectable industry, it's a very different kind of degree of compliance which is required to be followed, because it's going straight to your blood, and the smallest mistake can kill a person, and it's a FDA approved plant. So it was huge. The compliance aspect was huge, and the entire team worked fantastic. And being the CFO of that company, I feel very proud that we could make it. Thereafter, I came to Nissan in India as a CFO, and then worked there for 3.5 years. Nissan, again, a very interesting kind of change, because I started with PwC, a consulting company. Thereafter, I went to a project company, Tata Corp, then a software company, then 10-15 years in pharmaceutical, and then I went to automotive. It was actually kind of exploring various things and dragging myself to uncomfortable zone. That's how we learn.
Right.
So that was also interesting, but I took a very personal decision of coming back to Calcutta because of the family reasons, because my father was not well, and I left the company in September and came back. And now I am starting the second innings of my career as a independent professional, trying to contribute to various industries wherever they want my support, be it compliance, be it enterprise risk management, be it ICO, internal control over financial reporting, be it raising of funds. Those are the things that I want to do. I have not yet started, I am just doing the groundwork. I've got tie-up and I've got a lot of opportunities, thankfully, from various friends and kind of old acquaintances in Calcutta who are actually embracing me, and they are wanting me to be their partners and kind of guide or whatever. Let's see how this second innings pans out. That's briefly what I am.
So, what about your life beyond work? Would like to know a little bit about that.
A lot of things. Like I have got life beyond my professional things is probably what is very interesting, and not many professionals do that. So I used to recite quite well. I used to be a performer. And then when I became a hardcore professional, I didn't get a chance because I had to go out of Calcutta. So, and my performance was all in Bengali. So it was not kind of possible for me to continue that passion in Hyderabad or in Chennai. So that was one of the things that I want to kind of tell, that you should have, everybody should have a passion outside the professional thing. Because it's a stress buster, you know. I love to cook. I have got, my wife is a serious birder. She is one of the leading birding enthusiasts, I would say, in India. And with her, I have also become a bird enthusiastic person. And then every weekend I go with a big camera and try to shoot. So I have got bird photography as one of my passions, which I am pursuing for the last 4, 5, 6 years seriously. And now every weekend, if I am not able to go out, I feel something is missing in my life. So that is the level of thing. Then other thing that I do is to kind of be a coach and mentor to my group of people. So I had an opportunity of leading almost 130 professionals in Nissan and almost 60 professionals in Hospira. And I was very actively engaged in developing various small HR courses for motivating them. So that's how I work during my weekends or wherever I get time. I spend time to make look at my life, look at the way I got response from various parts of my juniors, and how can I transform that into some sort of a tangible coaching module which can probably, there is no prescription to anything, but if I have got an experience which has worked for me, I would want to tell it to the whole world, saying that, look, this is how it worked for me, it may work for you. So if that works and if that makes them feel better, because you know what, going from Calcutta to Chennai and getting a CFO job is very different.
Yes.
You are having 130 people who speak a language which you don't know, and whenever there is a meeting which is going on and there is any uncomfortable situation, people start talking in their local language.
Yes.
So penetrating in that environment and becoming successful has got certain tricks. So those are the tricks which I want to write down. I would probably write a book. I am planning to write a book on that. I would want to be a corporate speaker, and those are the things which I will pursue when I'm playing my second innings, which is 51 onward.
Okay, I think that's a very interesting career you've had, and really nice to know about what you do beyond work. And I'm sure you're going to do very well in your second innings after what you've been able to achieve in your first innings. In fact, one very important question I have for you is, how often do CFOs interact with the CHROs?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. So you know what? My understanding is that what I have practiced in my life is that it is almost every day. Every day I used to go to my CHRO guy, and we used to spend substantial time, 1 hour, 1.5 hours every day. Because if you are having 130 professionals, everybody has got their own aspiration, own problems, own way of looking at things, own way of doing politics, own way of not doing politics. All these things, you know. And it's not that none of you can discard. Like it's very simple to say that I'll get rid of the guys who are not doing well, or unruly guys, but that's not the way the life goes. One thing I've realized in life, that be in HR, be in finance, whenever you are in a leadership role, is the emotional quotient which matters the most.
Yes.
It's not the technical part of the thing. Technical part only gives you certain things where, like, I'll give an example which is very interesting example. When I went to Dr. Reddy's, for the first 1 year, there were at least 2 people who knew US GAAP better than me in my team. No doubt about that. Because they lived in US GAAP, they breathed in US GAAP, and they learned it from their heart. And I was only doing, I had a bigger kind of orientation of many things, but that part was not there with me. So I realized that what is the best solution for me, because I have to gain the respect of those 2 guys. What I did is to take a challenge for myself, that in 6 months' time, I will learn US GAAP in such an extent that this guy will tell me that you are my boss. And I started doing it, and it worked. So my HR also told me that, he only gave me the suggestion. He said, Sandip, when you were coming from outside, he showed me a video of Hillary Clinton endorsing Barack Obama. He said that this video everybody should see. Forget about the political connotation of whatever has happened. Obama and Hillary Clinton was going from the same party to be the presidential candidate for US. And Hillary Clinton was almost at par, or if not a little bit better, in terms of kind of in the campaign and many other aspects. But when she knew that she is not going to be the presidential candidate because she has lost it, she called for a meeting and told her followers that now my candidate is Obama. and we will all support Obama. So my HR head in Dr. Reddy's, who is a very good friend of mine, and I keep on talking to him whenever I need some support. I am not naming him, he's a big guy. He told me that, Sandip, this is what is important. People have to understand that when somebody is brought as your boss, there is something that this guy is having which you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
So when you understand that this guy is your boss material, endorse him. And that's how you have to push this endorsement to your people. Saying that if they feel that somebody has come from outside and they have got, you have to get into something. That differentiation should come out where they will start thinking that yes, we have got a right boss, and it worked.
Okay.
So I started learning the easiest way to become being endorsed as a leader is to be technically sound. That's the way people look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And those kind of things, strategizing every aspect of being successful, because career is basically getting things done through people in a manner where people also think that they are part of the journey. It's not that only you are making your career and 20 of your subordinates are doing nothing. So the way I look at life is that if I can create a group which is having a career for themselves independent, that's how the career is. So when you are coming out of the company, at least 20 people will tell you that, sir, wherever you go, you just give me a call, I will be with you.
Right.
So that's the way I look at career. So, and this aspect of career building is impossible when you are not having a HR support or a HR philosophy with which you want to work. So working with CHRO is extremely important.
Okay, so that brings me to our final question. So a lot of people watch our videos, they learn so much and they look forward to some suggestions. So what I heard from your experience, and there's so much, so vast, and we'd be really looking forward to the book, because that's where we would get to know so much more about your experiences. But at this point in time, what would be two very important suggestions that you would be giving to our audience, to a lot of youngsters as well who are listening to you right now?
Wonderful. Two suggestions. I would say that this is again what I have experienced. There is no suggestion or prescription that can be given, but my experience says that if you want to be a leader accepted by your people, most importantly professional people, chartered accountant, cost accountants, MBAs, those are not fools. Those are the guys. You have to first be transparent, number one. Number two, authentic. Your personality trait should not be a face and a facet. It should be always straightforward. People should be able to understand that this is the guy who will never ditch me when there is a problem. So that's the way you have to project yourself, and you have to really genuinely do that. So there are many people who, by reading books, try to be authentic, try to be genuine, but these are, if that is not genuine, this will come out and that will be a huge failure. So 100% it's important that one has to be authentic, and you should have the courage and conviction of talking to your juniors eye to eye, saying that, guys, I have to differentiate because that's my role. So I have got 5 people and I know who is number 1 and who is number 5. Number 5 doesn't mean that number 5 cannot become number 1. During the project, given the parameters that these were the things that we were told to contribute, we believe that this guy has done the best thing, and this guy has not done the best thing. That conviction and courage one should have in saying, the moment you say, don't lie to your people. If you lie to your people, you are wrong. You can never be a leader. The moment you say truth, with conviction and courage, people will accept you. So that's the two things that I will say.
Thank you so much. I think I really like the suggestions, and the authenticity part is actually so important. Not only it's been my own experience, but I have seen a lot of leaders, worked under leaders, and I've seen how that plays such an important role in leadership. So thank you so much, Sandip, for being with us, for sharing your experiences and your suggestions. We would be looking forward to meeting you again sometime and speaking to you. And thank you for being part of the program. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I wish all the success to this chapter, and let this chapter do fantastic. And with these kind of small sessions, if the greater community is kind of positively impacted,
Yes.
that's the best way we can think of giving back something to the society.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for the.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So you were watching our program where we were speaking to Sandip Neogi, ex-CFO of Nissan in India. I hope you've enjoyed listening to what he has shared. If you have, please like this video, share it with your peers and colleagues and friends. And until the next time, goodbye.